And I just got the green light, so let's go with Resident Evil 7, End of Zoe, and SpoopyPenguin. Take it away.
Hey everybody, I am SpoopyPenguin. There was a donation incentive and it looked like it was on Japanese, so can we get a final on that?
Yes, Japanese did indeed win, so let's go.
Alright, so let's swap this over to Japanese. French is personally my favorite, but for the pets, we'll do Japanese. Alright, so I'm just gonna kind of explain what this DLC is about first. So this is the End of Zoe DLC. We're going to be playing as Jack Baker, who is Joe Baker's brother. They've been estranged for a little while, and he lives in a shack in a swamp. He finds Zoe in a crystallized state after Ethan erroneously picked Mia. Should have picked Zoe, but since he picked Mia,
I agree.
Zoe crystallized, and Umbrella finds her, and Joe proceeds to beat up Umbrella and kidnap them. That's where this is going to start. So let's go. So time's going to start after I skip a cutscene. And then again, so another thing is, this is one of the most reset heavy runs in Resident Evil 7. I'm not going to reset, but the first 30 seconds, if you don't do everything perfectly, you just reset. So I'm not going to, I promise, but it can be a struggle. I have like 300 attempts in this game, and most of those are just the beginning. So, all right. So time is going to start in, let's see, 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So End of Zoe is actually a first-person brawler. I do a lot of punching, which is very different than most Resident Evil games, except for Chris. But and I'm going to be doing one specific combo a lot of the time because it's the most powerful combo. See, that's not what I wanted. You can one combo all of these enemies, and that's ideal. But since I kind of didn't get it on the first guy, I'm going to stealth kill these guys because it's a tiny bit faster. If I didn't kill these guys, I couldn't break this door. So I grabbed this chem fluid because kind of similar to main game. Your menu is important, but not in the same way. In this run, we're going to be doing crafting, which you pretty much don't do in New Game Plus. You do a little bit in New Game for the main game, but the crafting is always at very inopportune times because it's going to be during fights. Because that's going to be the only downtime I have, really, is going to be during fights. So we just grabbed a cure, but you could tell it wasn't totally full. And we're going to go back to Zoe and try and give it to her, but nothing's really going to happen. Also, there are giant alligators in this run. I'm not sure if that's a reference to RE2 or not, because that was a crocodile. But I am pretty sure they're not zombies. I'm pretty sure the molded hasn't affected them. There might be a note or something that says they are, but we are going to come up to them later. Normally I would punch one of them, but again, since we're running for the animals, I am not going to punch the alligator. One kind of interesting little bit of tech here that saves 0 time, but it's just kind of interesting, is this guy was one of the Umbrella guys we kidnapped. He's going to get ripped out of the wall and then thrown back through the window. When he gets thrown back through, he staggers Joe. But if you're not looking at it, I mean, he's there at Zoe the whole time, you don't get staggered. Saves no time, doesn't mean anything, but I just think it's kind of interesting. Because there's actually there is an actual skip that involves that later on, where not looking at something, or looking at it causes something else to happen. So, and that won't be too far away, but we're gonna come up to it's a cutscene. Same thing with the main game, there are no skippable cutscenes in this. So we kind of just get to watch. I call them our pee breaks because we get a couple of them. And I'm not sure why I don't know why they decided to not let you skip stuff. It's just kind of annoying. But one thing I do kind of want to explain is something that happened at the beginning. What didn't happen, but one thing that happens a lot in this run is called a finisher, which is when you beat up an enemy and they'll drop to their knees. And you will be prompted to do a finisher animation, which is very similar to that stealth kill animation. You punch their head off. It's really cathartic when you're playing this casually, but it wastes a ton of time in a speedrun, obviously. I'd rather just kill them, because they are at 0 health when they're in a finisher. They're at 0 health. If you just leave them alone, they'll just fall over. So I would just rather they just drop dead, and or you could turn finishers off. That would be so great. It would make one part of this run a lot more consistent. But we're coming up to what I call the camp. It's interesting. It's meant to be a stealth section. You're meant to sneak around. You're meant to stealth kill a bunch of guys. But stealth is slow, so I'm gonna do like the speedrun version of stealth, which means I'm not gonna crouch and I'm just gonna punch the enemies that I have to, and hope that I don't alert the other enemies. There's also another kind of a little bit interesting movement tech, which is there's a lot of sections where you're walking through like deep water and Joe slows down. In those sections, there are small points where against the edge, you'll get lifted just out of the water enough to run at your full speed, which is just one of those little optimizations that saves a couple seconds overall, but it's fun. I like those small optimizations because your what do you want to call it, your pathing is pretty important with how slow your characters walk in Resident Evil 7. Ethan is one of the slowest characters I've ever played as. Zoe is actually worse, as much as I love her. If you play the Daughters DLC, she is the slowest walker out of all of them. Joe and Chris are pretty okay. We're gonna put Zoe down because we gotta kill some stuff. And we're gonna try and find an actual cure. Up here is this stealth section I was talking about. Normally you crouch, stealth kill a bunch of guys, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna run over here. I'm gonna punch this guy. I'm gonna hug this wall. I'm gonna grab a spear. I'm gonna punch this guy. And that was the only enemies you need to kill to break through that door. If you alert any of the other enemies, the door won't break. We're gonna abuse later on. Here's the first boss. This is Swamp Man. This is Swamp Man. This is Swamp Man. And we're just gonna punch him a few times. And up here is where I was talking about, where if you're looking in a certain direction, the animation doesn't happen. So if I look at this back through here, he doesn't grab me. Normally, if you're just walking forward, you get grabbed, and he spins you around, and you have to punch him some more. But if you look at the door, or you look at him, you don't have to. Also, nonchalantly, Joe Baker can block alligators with his forearms. What? What? He's just such... He is such a man. I love Joe Baker so much. That second gator is the one I would normally punch, so he got out of here unscathed. And you're kind of seeing that I'm kind of whipping my camera when I block. It's because you get knocked back by the gator hits. So I'm trying to have them hit me at least against this wall, or even a little bit forward, like in the direction I want to go. So up here is the boat. It's a paddle boat. A lot of people don't know that this is a paddle boat. I don't know why. They're very common in the south, especially around like Mississippi River. This is where our cure is held. If you looked at that window, you would have seen the cure. Paddle boat is very, very specifically routed. I'm gonna try and not screw it up. There is actually one kind of random strat that is, it doesn't save time, but it makes the run way more safe. But it's really hard to do. So I'm just gonna not do it. I'll grab the stick because I need to craft some things. I'm gonna throw the spear a little bit early, like right here, and I missed. Dang it. Not a big deal because I can grab it. Usually you want to pre-throw that a little bit just to hit him a little bit earlier. Here's the only part I'm actually gonna do kind of stealth, which I'm gonna crawl through here and I'm gonna break this guy's neck, which makes his head explode. Because Joe is amazing. Down here is a really fun strat, and I really like how it's routed. So we're gonna punch this guy. I'm not gonna kill him yet. I'm gonna grab my spears, I'm gonna throw at this guy, and I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna start throwing spears at these two, and we're done. Normally there's 2 other enemies you might have to fight here if you don't do that. So that's probably one of my favorite little strategies in this. Now here is our next boss fight. I'm gonna try and explain what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna make a bomb really fast. I'm gonna place it really fast. But you can actually do this too fast. And if I do it too fast, I'm basically trying to skip a cycle of this boss fight. If I do it too fast, I'm gonna get 2 cycle. If I do it too slow, I'm gonna get a 2 cycle. So let's hope I don't do it either of those. This is Swampman 2. He just doesn't like to die. So let's see if I can get this. Not like I've been practicing it for a long time. Let's go. Alright, come on. Jump down. Ugly boy.
Man, Joe Baker is a beast.
There we go. Now I'm just gonna punch him. I'm gonna punch him, and I'm gonna punch him some more. Oh, come on. Come on. Do your lure. Thank you. Okay. That was a little slow. Kind of what I was talking about. If I was a little bit too fast, I'm gonna punch him out of an animation. But I got the 1 cycle, so we're good. Here's a good part to talk about what version I'm running of this game. I'm actually running the NTSC version, which is the version on Steam. It is actually faster than the 0D version, specifically because of this scene. In Japanese version, they don't allow dismemberment of human characters. So normally you don't actually rip his head off, and there's an extra voice line. So I think it saves about 7 seconds to run the NTSC version of this game. So also, remember, I just ripped that guy's head off. So when we get to this cutscene, remember that I ripped his head off. This is coming up to probably our next little break, so if there's gonna be, after this cutscene, if there's any more donations, that would be a good time. But here we got Zoe. We're gonna try and give her the cure, but the guy I just ripped his head off comes back somehow because plot, and kills Zoe. And neither of them die walking under the water. Alright, so here's our cutscene.
Alright, there's no new donations to read, but I can plug the fact that we have activated our bid war that will take place all the way at the end of the marathon, and that is for Resident Evil 2 and what costume Claire should wear. So which one do you want, chat? Get your donations in and pick it.
Come on, let's get that noir costume. We all know you want it. Either noir or military. I think those are generally the 2 top ones.
Yeah, I'm biased towards the noir one myself.
I think I ran with 98 just because, I don't know, I thought it was funny. And then I ended up running OGRE2 later, so. OGRE2
I mean,
and
they're
remake.
both good options.
Oh yeah, they're great, but OGRE2 is way different run than the remake. I know we had a Mai run that earlier, and that was a great run. Alright, so we're coming up to my most hated spot of this run. I call it the swamp. I also call it the boardwalk because it's more 2 sections. This area is extremely optimized and very difficult to pull off. It's not a run killer if I screw stuff up, but it just makes me feel bad on the inside. So up here, we're going to have another little spot where if I walk in a certain area of the swamp, I will actually run at full speed instead of being bogged down by this water. So if I run a little bit to the left, you'll see Joe kind of get lifted up, and then he can run. Up here is going to be probably the biggest jump scare I've ever had in this game, which is that floating gator. And then there's a real one. Alright, I'm picking up some more crafting items that I'm going to need later on. And this area was extremely intimidating first time through here, because there's a lot of gators in this area, but you can kind of just walk. You walk straight through here. These 2, oh, you're out of place. That was cool. Never seen that before. But yeah, normally you can kind of just walk through here and only have to deal with that guy. And sometimes this guy on the right grabs you, so we just kind of go up here. Oh, didn't grab me. Cool. Only one gator hit is fine. Alright, so this is the optimized part. It's gonna be a little bit hard to explain. I'm gonna blow stuff up, I'm gonna throw spears, and I'm gonna pick some stuff up. It's about how it's gonna go, and I hope it works. And I'm gonna skip this first guy because if you do, he kind of just despawns. I'm gonna place this bomb, grab this spear, blow this bomb, make some stuff, throw a spear, and I missed. That's a bad day. Alright, gotta kill this guy. I go through this door. I didn't want to throw another spear, I'm gonna need that later on. I'm gonna crouch, punch this little crawler. I'm gonna break this door, I'm gonna grab a thing, I'm gonna punch a guy. I'm gonna punch some more guys. Stomps are not great. So this is the finisher I was talking about. I can do a finisher right now and kill him, or I can just wait for him to fall over. See, that's where I'm not a fan of finishers. And you can't break that door until you finish them, so. Alright, this part is also very, very optimized and very hard. For anybody having trouble with this, don't stop running, is my only advice. If you don't stop running, this part is a little less freaky. Come on, come on, come on. Alright, we got it. We got it.
Good job.
If I don't get all three of those guys pretty quickly in between each other, a third guy spawns, and then I have to wait and kill him, and then a fourth guy spawns, and then I have to kill him too. So, really, really optimal to get all three of those guys before breaking that door. So this one's also really well optimized. Oop. Bomb, thank you. Gonna punch this guy. Gonna throw a spear at another guy. And then I'm gonna finish this guy off with a spear to the head. That is a perfect cemetery. That is how you want that to go. Oh my goodness, it feels so good to get a good cemetery in there. Oh my goodness. Alright. So this is gonna be the last kind of cutscene of the game. Be another time for shoutouts or donations. But actually, big reveal for anybody who didn't know. That was Jack. That was Jack the whole time. I've been calling him Swamp Man because I didn't want to spoil it. But we've been fighting Jack the whole time, and he's gonna be the final boss as well. So yeah, if they're
plot twist.
Yeah, plot twist. I'm convinced.
Yeah, we got.
Go ahead.
We got a few donations in. Like I said, we have a new bid war open, so we got $20 from Reclasis saying 98 costume hype. And that, of course, went towards the 98 costume for Claire in Resident Evil 2. And then we also have $5 from the gym saying, no new donations made me disappointed. So, with this charity's every donation save the animals by default, donate to Runner's Choice. And yes, every donation will indeed save the animals.
Yeah, I think we go with, let's go with Noir for the RE2 run.
Alright.
Alright, Joe is gonna get possibly the most perfect weapon built for this man. Somebody mentioned the Infinity Gauntlet, and it's not that far off as far as Resident Evil is concerned. It's called the AMG 78. It is a power gauntlet that boosts Joe's punching power. So like I said, made for this man. It's going to allow us to break through steel doors like that one. Right now I can't break that with his fists. Joe's a powerful guy, but he's not that powerful. So here it is. I want a prop of this. Like I want to hang this on my wall. And essentially it allows us to charge up Joe's fist. And he can do some very extreme amounts of damage, which you'll be seeing pretty soon. You can actually walk past these two guys, which I'm gonna opt to do because I want to have this fully charged when I get here and I blow through that door. I'm gonna wiggle my camera at these little ledges just because Joe sometimes doesn't like to jump off the edge. But now it's time to kill some stuff with the power gauntlet. Now punch this guy's face off. Now punch 2 guys' faces off with 1 punch. Bye-bye. And I'll run past this guy and hopefully not get puked on. I didn't get puked on, so that's good. Alright, we are coming up to the final boss. We're going to fight Jack for the last time. And we're going to hopefully not get hit. Optimal Jack 3 fight is not getting hit. He is a squirrely brother though, so we'll see what happens. We're going to try and save Zoe. Mostly what I'm going to do is I'm going to circle around him and punch him a lot. That's pretty much how it's going to go. Hopefully he doesn't hit me. A little more complicated than that, but that's how I like to explain it. Sometimes I have to crouch, but ideally all I really have to do is just kind of do this for a while. And I'm going to do the safe strat just because I don't want to get a 3 cycle right now. I'm just going to keep punching them. You can get a 2 cycle if you do the charged up hit, and it is faster, but it's a little less reliable, so I'm just going to keep punching. Keep on punching. Which for anybody who didn't know is the entire point of doing this run, is to punch a lot of stuff. Come on, don't drop the combo. Oh, almost. Almost got that no hit. Almost got it, but we made it. We got there. That is Jack 3. Call back to the beginning of RE7 with this line. Farewell from the family brother. And the eyeball. Oh, gotta have that eyeball. Which, if we're in the perspective of Joe, that eyeball went straight in our mouth. Alright. And time will be coming up soon. We're gonna give Zoe the cure. And we're gonna watch this cutscene just because there's some plot stuff that I like pointing out. And time. That is end of Zoe, new game easy.
GG.
It's a very fun run. I would say a lot of people haven't seen this run, which I think is a shame. It's mostly because it's like the paid DLC, so that's why a lot of people haven't run it. But it is easily my favorite run to do in Resident Evil 7. You also get to see a little bit more Chris. Again, I think Bear Chris is best Chris. But this is also going off the canon ending, which is the one Moonrunes did. The canon ending is to pick Mia. So if we didn't pick Mia, then we technically couldn't play this, but blah 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 blah. Zoe's best. So Zoe here is going to get a phone call from a person, and I get kind of upset about it. Because she thanks the person on the phone, but doesn't thank Joe, even though Joe literally just killed everything in the swamp to save her.
Yeah, it's honestly pretty rude.
It's so rude, and you'll just see Joe kind of in the back, just staring off at the wall. Like, come on. She could have said thank you, and also the person she talks to on the phone doesn't deserve it. He was mean to her. He didn't pick her. He didn't save her. It's Ethan. Ethan is on the phone. He didn't save Zoe. Joe did. So yeah. Joe's just off in the back, staring at the wall. He says thank you to Ethan, and then I'm upset. And that's it. That is the end of Zoe DLC. One of my favorite stats, though, is it tells you how many punches you threw. I don't think I've had a run be under 200 punches. So, yeah, that was the end of Zoe.
Good job. So we have, as I promised before, a super secret special bonus run coming up. And it is going to be, again, more Resident Evil 7. And this time we're looking at Not a Hero. Hopefully you're ready to take that away right away, or do you need some time to set up?
I need a little bit of time to set up because I actually need to run the CRD version to run Not a Hero, so but it shouldn't take too
All
long.
right. In that case, give us a few minutes and we'll be back with that. Right, it looks like we're about ready to go. I'm just waiting on the last green light from tech.
Alright, should be good to go. Alright. This is Not a Hero. Not a Hero DLC takes place right at the very end of RE7's main game. Essentially, Chris comes in, saves Ethan, and he goes immediately into the salt mines to go and find Lucas. So we're going to be running the any percent new game category on easy. So again, this timer will start after I skip a cutscene. So we'll just get into it. So time is going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. So yeah, we're playing as Chris Redfield, the probably the most controversial Chris Redfield of any Resident Evil 7 or Resident Evil game. I kind of thought RE5 Chris was a little controversial until this Chris came out. But this is easily the more action version of RE7. We do a lot more, well, we would be doing a lot more shooting, but shooting is slow. So I'm actually going to shoot as much as you normally would in this category, but this is the shotgun. This is probably my most hated weapon in Resident Evil 7, even though it is the way we're doing most of our damage, because it does that to regular enemies. It has a random spread, which is going to become kind of annoying later on. But this should look pretty familiar. This is the salt mine area from the main game. Here's one of the soldiers we're trying to find, and since Lucas is basically a hillbilly jigsaw, he sets a bunch of traps. He really likes explosives around the neck. And I guess I'll talk about what version we're running. This is the CRD version, very similar to the main game. There's one scene where a character loses his head, where he doesn't in this version, and it saves some time. That's about the only difference. And then this run is a lot similar to main game with the menuing. You need to have your menu in very specific places. Being any percent though, it's not as difficult.
If I may interject real quick, I just got a report that we don't have game audio.
Oh.
I don't know if you can take a look at that.
Let's see. Let's see what I can do about that. Okay, come on, game. There it is. That should be better.
Thank you.
Sometimes my sound settings don't like to work when I switch games, so. So yeah, like I was saying, the menu, I just gotta place it once and then not touch it. And if I do that, then everything should be fine. I won't have a bad day. Like right now, I'm gonna set my menu, and as long as I do this and put that here, everything should be totally fine. Another thing is we play this game at uncapped FPS. It's not as big of a deal as the main game, but it does play an effect. I just noticed the shotgun does a little bit different stuff at higher frame rates. And the knife also does that, which is terrifying. So I'm just gonna start running. I'm gonna basically, there's not a lot of tricks in this other than just optimization. There actually recently has been found an out of bounds that is probably gonna completely change this run. But we're still working on it. I'm testing it out. A few other people are testing it out. But right now we're still running our not out of bounds route. We're more than likely going to have that be a separate category because it's going to change everything. So right over here is there's a cell with another guy in it. We're just gonna ignore him right now because it's locked and I need to get a key. He is gonna be in this elevator. Elevator is where I do my sanity check on my inventory. And then I'm gonna do a little bit of enemy manipulation up here. Especially I'm gonna pick up a few items. I'm gonna stand in a very specific spot, and then I'm gonna activate a key. And as long as I do all that correctly, enemies shouldn't come up and hit me. If I don't do it correctly, they will come up and hit me, and I might have to kill some stuff. But that's obviously slow, so I'm going to try not to do that. I'm going to grab this crank. I'm going to grab this gear over here. Then I'm going to stand on the edge of this little platform, right about here. I'm going to menu, and I'm going to look to the left. And you'll see these guys kind of walk a little bit, they're not coming at me, but they're coming a little bit to the left of me. And that's the little bit of enemy manipulation. Yeah, they didn't even hit me, that's good. Sometimes they'll get a little cheap shot in, but... You also notice, I've only killed one enemy so far. Normally, you're going through here, you're killing everything, because this game gives you so much ammo to just wreck everything. And I'm not going to do that for the most part. For the most part, I'm really just going to kill the bosses. And there are only 2 of them. Some people call the vault a 3rd boss, just because of RNG. But there's only 2 like real bosses in this game. So up here is the cutscene that would be is censored in this version. Normally there's a big saw right above this dude's head, and it comes down and it cuts his head off, and his head falls to the floor. You have to crouch down and pick it up. But since this is Zero D, he just has a bomb on his neck. And so none of that's gonna happen. His head's gonna be up here, and we're gonna grab his filter. Filter's gonna save us from all this moldy air, which I'm sure if any of you are like me and you live on the West Coast, you're kind of feeling right now. The air up here over here has been horrible because of all the terrible wildfires going on right now. But yeah, we're just gonna grab this filter and get out of here. Hopefully it's a HEPA filter. And right now, like normally your oxygen bar on the left would go completely to 0 on the non-Zero D version, just because of the cutscene taking longer. But no big deal. We're out of here, and we're going to go to the next section. This is very linear RE, where you have to grab an item before you can go to the next area. We had to get this filter because in this green door is a bunch of that air mold that will kill you if you're in it too long. I have gotten to the end of this place without that filter, and it just won't let you go through. Just won't let you. So you have to grab that filter to get past here. This is very trigger based, very similar to the main game. We have to hit a lot of triggers to make things happen. This area down here is pretty much just running. I'm gonna squeeze by a couple monsters, and then I'm gonna grab our night vision and our ramrods. Ramrods are essentially enhanced ammo from the main game, but they can kill these guys, which are called the pale molded. They're basically like regenerators, where normal ammo doesn't really do a whole lot. You can kill them. Like there is a knife only category in this, and you can kill them, but it's like mainly doing like counters, and mostly doing counters. And counters are another thing in this game that are really, really interesting, and I wish were in other parts of this game, but they're only in Not a Hero. Which is essentially, if Chris gets hit by an enemy and he perfectly times a block, he'll do a counter, which means he doesn't lose any momentum, and he can just keep on running, which is obviously optimal, but only in here. And so the reason that I don't do a lot of shooting in this is that Chris actually slows down to shoot. I don't know why. My general explanation has been that he's military trained, and generally the military is taught to kind of slow down and steady yourself before shooting. And Ethan was not military trained, so he just kind of ran around shooting stuff. Is that the reason? I don't know. They could have just been like, we need to slow this down a little bit, so we're just gonna make you slow down. It is Resident Evil, so I think part of it is they like to more or less, what do you want to call it? Can you guys stay out of here? Those guys can get stuck in here, and we'll prevent this elevator from going up. But yeah, essentially they probably wanted Chris to not be like King Boulder Puncher and slow him down a little bit. Why are you over there? Don't be over there. Thank you. I run past this guy. I'm gonna run past some turrets and just eat the damage. And then I'm gonna shoot one guy in the face. Awesome. The second guy can be kind of mean, but we're good. Up here, there's gonna be a few enemies in a turret. I need to throw this grenade, and then I need to sneak past the enemies. Throw this grenade, run, and I'm gonna swap to 30 FPS. Very similar to main game. Don't do that. Like Moon says, you just get covered in butter and you get right through enemies. So good. But like for the main thing, we don't run like 30 FPS all the time, as it is generally slower to run it, and it also just kind of doesn't look great. So we got out of there. We got our night vision, which means we can go in this blue door, which is where Hillbilly Jigsaw goes into full gear. He's got traps everywhere, laser mines, tripwires. One room that is just terrifying, and even I still get real nervous about it. But this night vision lets you see these kind of floor traps. They light you on fire. I'm gonna shoot that one. I'm gonna ignore these two, and you can actually block the physical trap. This one, I can actually get a counter off of it like that. That's a counter. Basically, you lose 0 momentum, you just keep on going. Up here, I'm gonna do a little bit of puzzling. I'm gonna get my next counter. There's 2 counters that are like, they aren't required. Like, that's got both of them. They're not required, but for optimal runs, you want to get both of them. And there's one more counter later on in the vault, which I haven't talked a lot about it. It's because I hate it. But we'll see if I can get that one too. There was another big molded that came running at us and exploded, but since we're in an animation, we just kind of tank it. And up here is where I'm gonna really hope I didn't mess with my inventory, because if my inventory's off, I'm gonna have a bad day. I gotta grab a key and use it pretty quickly, and there's gonna be a molded that's gonna try and hit me if I don't do it correctly. Let's see if I make sure I do this right. Let's grab the key, run back around. You spawned late. Gotta run past this dude. Gotta put this key in this door. We're good. We are good. Now this room is terrifying, even to me. It's the laser room. Most people would just crouch through this, go real slow, but that's not quick. So we're gonna do a little bit of running between all these lasers, which is very scary. I did that a little bit safe because I got scared. But that's essentially the laser room. For everybody, F's in the chat for everybody that went straight to that guy and didn't turn off the power. Because if you do that, all these lasers turn towards you and kill you. So, since we know better, we just went straight to the power. And then here is where I'm gonna grab some more ammo, and there's gonna be a cutscene. So if you got any more donations, now would be a good time.
I sure do. I got $10 from Obvious saying, let's get Claire dressed the right way. And that went towards the noir costume for Claire in RE2. And while I have you guys here, I would also like to mention that we just activated another incentive for the Sonic Adventure 2 run to get final story %. So if you want to get your donations in, you can put them both towards an incentive and the bid war.
We can get out up through there. Oh fuck. You gotta be kidding me.
Alright, so we got a little bit more of a cutscene, but after that we're gonna have our one and only reset or retry of the game. Which very similar to the main game. Essentially there's gonna be an auto save and we're gonna retry. Essentially what it's gonna do is it's gonna teleport us to the very top of the ladder. Which sounds kind of impressive, but when you see where I trigger it's not that impressive. It saves like a second IGT, and I don't think it saves any time RTA, but kind of just a fun little skip that I like doing. You'll see a little autosave thing in the top left, little circle. That's when I can do retry. And we're at the top. Oh, we even got fast door. For fast door. That door is kind of randomly, can be either really slow or really fast. That was fast door. So this first molded likes to grab people, so I'm going to go a little wide. Alright, we're good. Now we're going to go fight the first boss of this game, called Mama Molded. She has a very specific routing for how you're supposed to fight her. And even then, you can either leave the fight with 1 ramrod or no ramrods. Pretty much how it's going to go. Essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a grenade, I'm going to shoot her once, I'm going to throw 2 more grenades, and then I'm going to empty my magazine, except for 1 bullet. I need 1 bullet left in my mag. And that's because your reload animation is longer with an empty magazine. And then I'm going to hopefully have 1 shot at the end. If not, I just unload the rest of my ramrod, and then the fight will be over. If you don't see that, it's because I screwed up. But it's very possible to do. Also, right here is a very, very tight path that if you don't get, you usually get hit. And we got it. We got it. I was not the first person to get that path, but I was the first person to start doing it without 30 FPS. Just YOLO in that one. Gonna run past this big guy. We're gonna get into this boss fight. So I'm gonna break this box, grab some ammo, and then we're gonna get into this. Gonna trigger this, fall down, gonna throw this, shoot her, throw my rest of my grenades, shoot 7 shots in her head. Got 1 left, so I'm gonna reload. I keep shooting her in the head. Oh. That was... You had to use all my ramrods, and we got the headshot, which is a little bit slower death animation. But it does lead me into talking about death animations, which is going to be a major part of what comes up next. Death animations, essentially, it's what animation does the enemy do when they die. This game defines dead enemies as enemies that have finished a death animation. That's what I think. I can't say it's 100% true, but with how much I played this game, that's kind of where I'm at. But where you kill an enemy, like if you shoot him in the head, shoot him in the leg, shoot him in the arm, they all have different death animations, and some are much, much longer than others. So, we're gonna essentially have an RE4 cabin come up where we're gonna have waves of enemies. But these waves are gonna be tied to the deaths of previous enemies. So I need to kill enemies as quickly as possible with the fastest death animations. So you're gonna see me shooting them in the legs a lot, because for whatever reason, shooting them in the legs has the fastest death animation. And that goes for pretty much all the enemies except for the crawlers. I want to shoot the crawlers in the head. That is about the only one. Everything else I want to shoot in the leg. And we got a little bit of time because there's a big door that just needs to open forever. I'm going to put this key in. You're going to see this big vault open up. So, yeah, if you have either donations, announcements, bid wars.
We've covered a lot of it already, but it might be a good time to remind everyone why we're here and why we're raising money. Because we are raising money for PawsYourGame, which is a 501c nonprofit animal advocacy group, and their mission is to help raise awareness, funds, and other resources for both private and municipal animal shelters, rescues, and sanctuaries through video game marathons, streaming, and other events such as tournaments and LAN parties. Roughly 8 million animals enter American animal shelters per year, and 1.5 million of those animals are killed. By working together, we can take a stand against kill shelters and give our furry friends a second chance of finding a forever home and receiving the care they need.
Alright, so this is the vault. Threw that one grenade, but like I said, you're going to see me shooting them in the legs a lot. Because that animation of them dropping down is the fastest one. Fortunate. Alright, we're gonna wait for this guy and leg shot. Alright. Ammo is a little bit weird there, but we're on it. Let's see if I can get this counter. Gotta jump out of here. Ah, didn't get it. No big deal. Shooting some more guys in the legs. Wow, there's one guy who's not spawned. There he is. This cabin's not great. There's been some long death animations. Some guys not wanting to spawn. I gotta wait for one crawler. There he is. Alright. Almost done. I gotta kill 2 more enemies, and I'm hopefully also gonna shoot them in the leg. But we'll see. Hopefully, if you shoot these guys in the leg, they just drop and explode. That's what you want. Like that guy. Oh boy. That is no bueno. Come on. That. Hey, swag counter. Alright. That was a vault. Not amazing, but we got through it. Grabbing some. I'm gonna be 1 shot down for the boss fight, but that shouldn't be a huge deal. Now we gotta wait for Lucas to stop talking, because Lucas likes to talk a lot. You only got to see him talk for a little bit in the main game, just because we end up skipping that phone call in the trailer. We pretty much have to watch all of Lucas talking. But it's really cathartic, because I really wanted to kill Lucas in the main game. So, this DLC was definitely needed. But also, Chris is extremely sassy in this game. I love it. This is rugged, experienced veteran Chris who's seen so much crap when it comes to bioweapons. Alright, we're gonna go towards the final boss fight, which is going to be Lucas. Mostly just went to walk in. If I was doing 100%, I'd be grabbing a bunch of stuff here, but since I'm not, I'm just gonna go and turn on some power.
But I can still get that data to you, but we're quits after that.
He thinks I'm dead. This might be our chance.
And I'm hugging this wall because, again, characters kind of walk a little bit slow, so your paths are fairly important for these runs. Trying to take that shortest path possible. And we're gonna give Lucas a little bit of a scare, because he deserves it.
Lucas!
I love doing that. S-Star has nothing in it. Also scared the crap out of me when I played this. And here's the final arena. I'm gonna grab some ammo.
We got your emails.
Oh, listen to Ethan some more. But I'm 1 shot shy, so this will be interesting. I'm gonna try and explain what I'm gonna do with Ethan right now. He's gonna transform into a big ugly monster. He's gonna drop from the ceiling. I'm gonna push him towards this center thing, and then he's gonna lose his iframes. I'm gonna shoot him in the face. I'm gonna shoot him in the chest 2 more times with the ramrod, and then I'm gonna shoot him with a shotgun. He's gonna jump up onto that center thing. I'm gonna run around. He's gonna do some roaring. I'm gonna shoot him once while he's up there. Then he's gonna jump down. He's gonna try and swing at me, and I'm gonna shoot him in the face again. I think I'm gonna shoot him some more in the chest, and then he's gonna jump back up, and then I'm gonna go back around, and then I'm gonna shoot him some more while he's up there. He's gonna jump back down. I'm gonna shoot him in the chest, and hopefully he dies. That's how Lucas is supposed to go. But Lucas is a king troll in game and in the speedrun, so we'll see if he cooperates. He doesn't like to cooperate. And then right now, Chris is going to go on a short little D&D quick short rest, because he just blacks out, and then Lucas is on the ceiling. I feel like they just didn't want to explain how he got up there. Like, now Lucas is on the ceiling. I don't know what happened. Like I said, D&D short rest, and something happened. I'm gonna start pushing. I'm gonna run over here, start pushing. But I can't do much damage to him right now, so we're not gonna waste my ammo. I'm gonna roar, and then shoot him in the face, shoot him in the chest. Alright, jumped up. Good. I want to be over here. I want him to do that, shoot him in the face. And now I want him to jump down. Now I want him to swing at me. Good. That is good. Good, Lucas. Alright, and he went up. But he went up kind of early, and I'm a little bit out of place. Alright. 1, 2. And that is a perfect Lucas. Oh my goodness. That is how you want Lucas to go. Alright. That is not a hero. Time is coming up very soon. And... time.
GG, fantastic run.
That is easily one of the better Lucas fights I've done in a while. So, yeah, that's a also a great run. This DLC is actually free. So if you have Resident Evil 7, I highly recommend doing this run. It is so much fun.
Chris, the data transfer is almost complete.
And like I said, there's recently even found an out of bounds. So this category is likely to, maybe not this category, but there is going to be another run in this game, and it's going to change a lot. I would say this game's easily going to be sub 20 type run with that out of bounds. So I think things are going to get interesting with Not a Hero pretty soon.
From your river. What's the sit rep?
The facility is clear.
So yeah, that is Not a Hero. Any percent easy new game. The new game plus categories are fun. The professional runs are insane to watch. I know Yossi Hops has got one of the most insane professional knife only runs I've ever seen. So yeah, there's a lot to do in Not a Hero, and I recommend people check it out.
Think we did any good here?
Thank you so much for that fantastic run, SpoopyPenguin. We really appreciate it. That was well done.
Thank you.